Hello friends, it's me, and today ice cream from McDonald's. Let's check out Food Theory. McDonald's finally fixed its ice cream machines, never broken again. From the food theorist. Together, let's go. Let's start.
Okay, all you Mickey D lovers, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is that finally our tax dollars have been put to good use. And by that I mean the US government has stepped in and cut the legal red tape preventing McFlurry machines from being fixed. The bad news, your local machine isn't getting repaired anytime soon. Hello Internet, welcome to Food Theory, the only channel that looks at a broken McFlurry machine and says, I can fix her. And technically, now I can. You see, these machines
Hello Internet, welcome to Food Theory.
have a bit of a bad reputation of never working. There's even a whole website dedicated to tracking which ones are out of service. And let me tell you, some of these estimates are harrowing. Apparently, 1/3 of McFlurry machines are down in New York City at any given time. And nationally, 15% of McDonald's can't deliver on the sweet treat. There's a reason why these machines have become the butt of so many jokes and memes. In a previous episode, we've covered the extensive list of reasons why McDonald's is at keeping their machines running. But the long and short
Let me try. I'm loving it.
of it is that repairing a McFlurry maker is a legal and financial headache for store owners. Recently, however, the US Copyright Office opened a metaphorical bottle of aspirin for franchisees. And in theory, this should make it so that their machines are never broken for long. But while a never-ending, free-flowing supply of ice cream makes for amazing headlines, the truth, buried under the surface, is that nothing's really gonna change. Yeah, sorry to be the guy smacking your ice cream onto the floor, but the fight for the right to repair has only just begun. Real Hamburglar heads know that it's a gamble almost every time you want a Golden Arches' frozen treat. That's just the way it's been for decades. Even as a small fry myself, I learned early on to steel my nerves for disappointment in the likelihood that the soft-serve machine was on the fritz. But to understand how society was conditioned into curbing our expectations of the reliability of the McDonald's ice cream machine, we have to go
The Matrix, there is no spoon, there is no ice cream machine.
all the way back to the beginning. In 1956, Ray Kroc, the founding owner-operator of the McDonald's franchise business, made a handshake agreement with the Taylor Company to act as his exclusive milkshake machine supplier, and the two companies still honor that deal to this day. It's kind of honorable, in a way, if you completely and utterly ignore how the Taylor Company has used their contracts to put the freeze on McDonald's franchisees across America. Since at least the early 2000s, McDonald's has been using Taylor's C602 ice cream machine, which is infamous in the biz for its unreliability and dysfunction. An internal survey from 2000 conducted at McDonald's locations revealed that 25% of the 100 stores surveyed were not serving ice cream products due to faulty machinery. That is a huge red flag considering that McFlurries only went nationwide 2 years prior. So what happened? Well, basically, Taylor's machines have a multitude of dairy-laden pipes that are prone to bacterial contamination. To combat this, the machines have a self-cleaning feature that requires that the machine goes through a 4-hour heat cycle. During this cycle, the machine heats up to 151 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes to kill any bacteria, and then cools down to 41 degrees Fahrenheit so that it can go back to chillin' ice cream. If anything goes wrong with this temperamental equipment during this time, let's say if it takes longer than 2 hours to go from blistering hot to exactly 41 degrees, then the machine will lock itself out. Once it's locked, there's basically nothing McDonald's employees can do. Sometimes they can get lucky and just restart the cycle, but most of the time, this means that the ice cream machine is just completely bricked until it can undergo human maintenance. In a sensible world, this would mean that a manager or owner would just open it up and do the repairs. But in a sensible world, Ryan Reynolds would also be my best friend.
Santi is my BFF!
Sometimes the world we actually live in is just cruel and doesn't make sense. Point is, the hardworking
Bro got a Thanos snap. I am... Sorry.
angels who craft my morning McMuffins are not to blame here. The real culprit behind the out-of-order signs is actually Taylor, whose exclusive rights to operate in thousands of McDonald's across the country also includes the exclusive rights to fix the machines themselves. So when a Taylor machine spits out an unintelligible error code, only a certified Taylor technician is allowed to access, interpret, and diagnose it. And by the way, this can't even be bypassed in secret, because the key to repairing Taylor's machines is a literal digital digital key, held exclusively by their technicians. So, barring any store owners going sicko mode to loot an engineer's corpse, the only option is to request an expensive tailor technician to travel out to your location. And with over 13,500 Mickey D's in the US, that translates to waiting in a
That's a very old phone, bro. You could have used a better phone.
long queue. Believe it or not, this frustrating scenario is all a result of the very law that prevents you from burning DVDs, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or DMCA. Maybe you've seen those letters if you're a filthy, dirty, no-good pirate who's tried to look up some free movies online, which legally, I have to say, shame on you. You deserve prison time and to be fined an atrocious
It's a filthy, dirty, no good pirate.
amount of money by a billion-dollar company that's completely willing to erase that very same media for a tax write-off. Stop trying to download cars, pirate scum. So yeah, the DMCA doesn't just protect record companies from Napster or streamers from Kiss Anime. It prevents restaurateurs from repairing the hardware they've paid thousands of dollars for. And hey, this isn't just plaguing the McFlurries. Equipment that locks itself out via inaccessible error codes is common in plenty of commercial kitchen devices, from espresso machines to ovens. And that's not even getting into all the other essential devices outside of the restaurant industry. Farmers with John Deere tractors often miss vital weeks thanks to simple error codes. There are even hospitals that can't repair medical devices like defibrillators without manufacturer-appointed technicians. You know how much of a bummer it is when you go to McDonald's and there are no McFlurries? Now imagine that unreliability when you go to the hospital and you need to reset your heart! Once again, I should drive home.
Okay, that is... Wow, that is way crossing the line. That is way too much. Bruh.
It's the piracy that's the problem with society. This is all thanks to Section 1201, a two-part law that made it illegal to bypass software locks known as technological protection measures, no matter how badly you're craving that Grimace shake. Part 1 of the law...
But having said that, there needs to be sympathy, there needs to be compassion, there needs to be understanding. Case in point, the law just... Something makes a very good point. You are in a hospital, you are dying, you need to have your heart reset and... Oops, CMI. Bro! Emergency! But it said follow black and white, follow the contract. Human lives are at stake here. Literally.
law states that no person shall circumvent a technological measure that effectively controls access to a work protected under this title. Snore. Basically, if there's any sort of digital lock out there, even if it's a small piece of software for what is essentially just hardware, you are not allowed to crack it. The second part of Section 1201 makes it illegal to create and sell any device that would circumvent technological protection measures. This essentially means that you can't sell any McFlurry machine Game Sharks, which is a thing that actually did happen. In 2019, a dark horse entered McDonald land when a company called Kitch invented a way to connect to and interpret the Taylor C602's internal communications to provide franchise owners with clear data and analytics in the event of a breakdown. But this victory over the milkshake machine was, short-lived, because after around 500 Kitch orders were placed by franchise owners, McDonald's emailed all restaurant locations in November of 2020 instructing them to remove Kitch devices immediately due to the violation of the Taylor company's warranty. As a substitute, the email offered a suspiciously similar device called the Taylor Shake Sunday Connectivity. Now, to play totally legally manufacturer's advocate, the argument often given is that these DMCA lockouts are for safety. After all, we've all seen modding communities go out of control. Look at Lee and his 1200 Skyrim mods, at your own risk. And on the other extreme of that spectrum, there are actual safety issues with modding. Unauthorized adjustments to the software of something like a smart card could be a serious danger on the road. So it makes sense that manufacturers would want legal protections for the locks that keep their software safe. I mean, if we really want to stretch our imagination, there could be a multiverse out there where a McDonald's employee goes rogue and alters the cleaning protocols of of the C602 and creates a limited edition Bacteria McFlurry. Certainly, Taylor wouldn't legally want to be on the hook for that, because even if they clear their names in court, they're never gonna outrun the McFlurries gives small town the McDirties headlines. But in all fairness, this sort of defense conveniently ignores the reality of what's going on. Before the DMCA, plenty of manufacturers made hardware that could be improperly altered to pose a danger. But the liability there wasn't on the manufacturers, but the repairmen. For instance, if a mechanic fails to service a car properly, and then that car gets into a wreck due to improper maintenance, it's the mechanic that's liable for the negligence, not the car's manufacturer. So while safety may be the title of the song they sing, the reality is that these manufacturers are more interested in the tune of cash register cha-chings. Taylor, for example.
So I guess it's, on paper, it's good intentions, but in real life, it's bad execution. That's messed up. That's pretty messed up. Like, case in point, you mentioned a car, right? How about a farmer's tractor? Like, there's not a single vehicle within miles, and your tractor breaks down. Bam! You have to feed your family. You have to harvest the crops. If you don't harvest the crops will die. You starve. Your family starve. You earn zero money. People that want to buy things starve. Everybody collectively lose. And you have to wait for days or even weeks for someone to come over and fix your tractor. During these days, during these weeks, the crops, the grains, the weeds, they GG. It's a lose-lose game for everyone.
Has a whopping 25% of their income generated from fixing faulty equipment. If they made repairs for the machines more accessible, that'd mean there'd be a huge cut into their pie. And while Taylor may claim that Kitsch was resulting in unsafe alterations to their machines, pretty obvious that the store franchisees were forced into a corner where they needed to look to a third party for simple diagnostics. This is exactly why the DIY tech support company and right to repair advocacy group iFixit bemoaned Taylor's business practices to the US Copyright Office. Fixit spent years tirelessly petitioning the US Copyright Office to challenge the digital locks placed by manufacturers who prioritize their payday over simple, inexpensive repairs. You see, the Copyright Office knew that the DMCA wasn't perfect when they passed it in 1998, so every 3 years, the Copyright Office allows folks to petition for exemptions to the DMCA rulings. Since 2003, iFixit has tirelessly focused on these sort of appeals, all in the name of right to repair. And also their own pockets, but still, they even worked on the first ever right to repair bill. And when it comes to DMCA, back in 2018, they petitioned the office and won an exemption for smartphones and home appliances. And 3 years later, they won exemptions for nearly all consumer equipment, medical devices, and vehicles. And finally, this year, it seems like they've done it again. This time, securing an exemption for the right to fix your own dang ice cream machine. According to the exemption, McDonald's ice cream machines and other retail-level food equipment can now be fixed in-house without a Taylor technician gatekeeping your McFlurry. So this is great news, right? I mean, it sounds like the chances of satisfying our sweet cravings are about to go up about 15%, at least according to McBroken's tracker. But while this exemption is incredible progress for the right to repair, it only addresses half the battle. Don't get me wrong, we all owe iFixit a huge thank you, and this really does advance the cause in a positive way. But remember that pesky Part 2 of DMCA Section 1201? Yeah, unfortunately, the exemption only allows for the legal right to repair the machine yourself. It does not cover the right to create or purchase the tools that would help franchise owners solve the ice cream related issues quickly and efficiently. So easy to use products like Kitsch still break the law. So unless the owner of your local Mickey D's is a tech whiz, it's unlikely that anyone but a trained engineer would be able to doctor a Taylor machine. Which brings us almost back to where we started, standing in front of a broken McFlurry machine that only a skilled professional can hack. But we certainly aren't back to square one. The DMCA has been hindering our milkshake consumption since 1998, but we're slowly breaking out of its restraints, emerging every 3 years with another piece of the puzzle solved in our favor. And I get it. We've waited patiently for so long, only to be blocked by a caveat to an exemption of a law that shouldn't be messing with me when I'm hangry in the first place. But this
Oh, so case in point, the future generations, the current generations, are suffering from the mistakes made by the older generations. That means the older generations' mistake and the future generations have to suffer through. Wow, that sucks. That genuinely sucks. It's like literally you are born and you have to suffer through these mistakes that your ancestors, the generation above you made. That's not fair. Life's not fair. But that is genuinely not fair. We should make it so the next generation have it easier, have it better, not have it worse.
is really great news, and we're inching closer to the sweet taste of victory. Folks like us can also make a difference by writing to our state legislators in support of the Fair Repair Act. iFixit's website also directs you to a right to repair advocacy network so that you can get involved wherever you live. Securing the right to fix our own ice cream machines actually brings a lot of hope for what we can accomplish in the future in order to make tech repairs easy and affordable for all. Until then, I guess McDonald's is gonna have to add PhD in engineering to the requirements for employees, which I guess doesn't change much in this economy. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit. And hey, did you know that I did a video with mythical chef Josh? Click the link on the screen now to go watch that one. And as always, I'll see you next week.
Alright, I need to see that meme at the back. I'm so sorry.
Which I guess doesn't change much in this economy. But hey, that's just
Alright, society, if the ice cream machine, if the McDonald's ice cream machine works. Bro! Wow, that escalated quickly. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit. Thank you so much. Subscribe.